So Chairman Wontumi latest update on the court case no abusuya ene emu ayeden ede ama Chairman Wontumi right now no ya found in guilty a court are convicting her sisi ano ye twen ne yes I the man but right now nankasa de Chairman Wontumi ya found in guilty on the illegal mining case na abusuya ene Chairman Wontumi according to sources no onko efie biu se okofie akwakwo hu na abusuya for there be enye possible na ne yes a obekone nso no lawyers no twetwe ho nkomo eche se omo negotiate on yes a Chairman Wontumi be kwabuta mo yankonkuti ne final judgment no ho some conviction ayede amane e ba ayede de akabeto am so na nasa ne be ko Ghana ha open computer papa and a laptop papa na we use the Abura periodic computers and accessories ho and abenya laptop papa na we using the location enye your akwan o Kumasi Bukrom Estate A live friend number na ewi screen ase ye ba yede de aka ebeto am so.
He's ready and willing to do some restitution, maybe some the money that the fine that could be imposed is ready to make the money available immediately. The state will not have to go an extra step to try and enforce that aspect of the judgment, etc., against him and all of that. But all of these are matters that the judge will also take into consideration the facts that have been proved as well. And your own plea is the reason why sometimes watching us live from the Ashanti, they know what the decision now is that he's been convicted, and what we can assure them is that he's not coming home today because of the
this very specific case. And now the judgment largely has been given. We have the period of sentencing mitigation that will be led by his counsel or a team of the lawyers, and then also what that could also mean in terms of its trickling effects on public opinion in the Ashanti region. We'll have to bring him back again. William Evans Nkum, I'm sure, of course, you've heard the breaking news. That also, I'm sure, is also being communicated across the airwaves and social media in the Ashanti region. So far, what can you tell us? Right. Again, this is what we have. Joseph will take us through what we have, the breaking news, and then we also know that what has been, again, read out so far in this judgment by the court in the conviction of Chairman Wontumi. And just to apprise you, so the open door,
the one on the right,
on the extreme right,
right,
where the gentleman in ash is coming out from,
is the exit. Then the entrance is on the left-hand side. Okay. And so very soon we will see the lawyers and our colleague Lord Edward Sari and the others will be coming out on the right side, and then the Attorney General, his team, will also be coming out from the right side. Hopefully we'll get some good interviews with them. We'll get an interview, actually. We'll get an interview with them on all these matters and hear from the state's position on what has transpired in court so far, especially what they make of whatever sentence the court will be imposing. And I think in all of this, we had made reference to how illegal mining has been a topical issue, has been an issue of national concern so far. And our contact mining is also important because if you recall, the Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining actually petitioned the previous administration on the activities of contact mining in the Samraboy area and even within the Nimri forest as well. And if you recall, the then president at the time, Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, had said that they were not engaged in illegal mining at the time. He said they were not engaged in illegal mining to his knowledge. And if you recall, the Lands and Natural Resources Minister explained that what Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, the president, His Excellency, meant was at the time he was speaking, they were not engaged in illegal mining. But be that as it may, the group actually compiled images of the illegal mining they believe were taking place. They sent all of that over to the police CID for investigations to happen. Nothing progressed or nothing came out of that. And it's something that in the course of the various news bulletins we'll be hearing from some of these interest groups, and they will make the point that they found that to be very surprising and raised concerns that it did appear that the government, the previous government, was not bent on looking into the matter or prosecuting the matter because of the role and the individual that was involved. Then all of a sudden, a change in administration and the same facts, basically the facts surrounding his activities in the Samraboy area has now formed the basis of a conviction, a finding of a court as a matter of fact that there was illegal mining taking place in the Akonta mining reserve that had been handed over to the Akonta mining concession that have been handed over to Chairman Wontumi. And so that begs the question, and it's one that eventually, when it all settles down as a nation, we would have to have conversations about it. Because on the flip side, too, one would also argue that, would it also mean that there was actually nothing wrong taking place, and that because of the political witch hunting that perhaps is taking place? But either ways, a court of competent jurisdiction has been seized with a factual situation of the matter. They've heard from the accused persons. They've also heard from the prosecution. The court's conclusion is that there was mining that was taking place contrary to law in Chairman Wontumi's mining reserve, for which reason he has been found guilty of the offenses that he has been charged with, Roland.
Okay, just also to give you the timelines, this case particularly is just one of 3 other cases. And again, Joseph Akable, just to do a recall, took all of us through the number of cases that Chairman Wontumi is involved in. Of course, we'll talk about the concurrent prosecution of those cases, as he is now going to be either imprisoned but also jointly also fined as well. And then also the time travel for this particular case started in October last year, 2025, and subsequently a number of evidence adduced as reported by our court reporters over the period of this case, to the point that we even had his general manager also turning a witness for the prosecution in itself. And subsequently, we know a number of incidents that have taken place even outside the court room itself in relation to the subject matter. And that also means that a lot of interests have generated for this case, and interested parties, interested stakeholders, particularly associated with him as a businessman, also as a politician, because currently he is the chair for the MPP in the Ashanti region. And it also means that those interested parties, particularly politically exposed persons, will have a lot to say. And just outside this case is the fact that Chairman Wontumi, Bernard Nkri-Boisiako, is also vying to be the chair for the MPP at the national level, so the national chairman prospectively for the MPP. We will subsequently again take a look at what rights are accruing to him in law after this judgment, and then also how far that could go, and subsequently what effects that could have on his bid to become the chair for the New Patriotic Party nationally. And Joseph, it doesn't look easy, but it also means that the public opinion certainly would also influence the outcome of this case, irrespective of how we make of it. A court of competent jurisdiction, but of course in the court of public opinion, a lot of comment tend to go on the subject matter. For you, you've gone through the processes of being a court reporter and subsequently operating within the presence of the court as a court officer as well. What usually goes in the minds of the members of the public when you're reporting it, and then also when you hear from the court officers, whether it's a registrars or even the judges themselves who sit on some of these cases, per your experience?
I mean, it's always interesting. It's always interesting, and especially for the public interest ones. They are the ones that come once a while, and so they are the ones that you always follow keenly. You are interested in. You want to see how it's all going to play out there. And in this particular instance, it has so much around it that makes it for an interesting following. And you've made reference to it extensively about Chairman Wontumi's own pedigree as a politician, to the extent that he wants to contest for national chairman of the opposition New Patriotic Party. And it's an interesting aspect of it. But a lot of the time, at this point in time, once the judgment is delivered like this, for the lawyers, what we would want is to see the judgment to understand the analysis a bit more and see how the evidence that was led, how the court placed weight on it, what weight it didn't place on it, and the various questions about whether they were sufficiently proved and everything. I mean, because I mean, the fact of the matter remain that all lawyers go to the same law school, but they come out and they all disagree on different things. Last week Friday on the show, one of the texters, he sent a message that lawyers interpret the law like the Bible. because, pastors, they read the scripture, you can give to the same pastors and they'll
depending on the inspiration they have from God.
Exactly. And so,
and which God?
I mean, so all those are things that the lawyers tend to look out for. I mean, for those who are in the general public, I mean, and a lot of the people, some of the things that they are saying now, in fact, I can guess what's on the mind of many people now. They just want to know what the sentencing is at this point in time, and it's why we.
Well, you take us through again, just to apprise you of what the latest has been. This is breaking for a number of minutes now, and rightly so. We're having this coverage not only mainstream TV3 Ghana across social media, 3FM 92.7 across social media, 3news.com is where you're getting all the latest, whether it's on Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and X, as well as all the others. You can find the latest breaking from Media General, MG, and 3 News. We're bringing the latest as it is from all our platforms in all the subsidiaries as well. The latest being Chairman Wontumi, Bernard Intriboisiakung, an accused person in this case, has been convicted, and for which conviction we'll apprise you of. And Joseph,
yes,
we have them.
Just before that, I mean, a bit of we are doing a live coverage, so live updates now. Some of the things that are being said in court by way of the plea mitigation that is taking place, and so the Chairman Wontumi's lawyers, they are saying that he is the breadwinner of his family. They are saying that he is married and has dependents, and so they are asking that. They should be given a lower sentence, and we've already pointed out that the minimum is 15 years, the maximum is 25. They also say that Chairman Wontumi is a law-abiding citizen who always showed up in court as well, and so the judge should also consider that as well. And we must indicate that the court was first addressed by lawyers who are from Samuel Atachian's law firm, specifically Charles Boache Esquire, who is the one who was on his feet first to address the court. In fact, he is the lawyer who authored the letter that was sent to the court that Mr. Astachian was traveling, for which an adjournment should be given. So he's the one who addressed the court. Afterwards, other lawyers in the courtroom have also taken turns to address the court as well. And then one lawyer, Bernard Donko, has also addressed the court, urging the court to be lenient in terms of the sentence that it should impose on Chairman Wontumi. He announced himself as a friend of the court, Bernard Oredu Donko there, saying that some leniency should be applied in this particular instance to Chairman Wontumi. So those are some updates that we are bringing you from the court room in terms of the updates. And in just some very few minutes now, when the judge is done hearing from all those who would want to address her on this particular matter, she will put down her sentence, then it will be read to the public, and we'll update you in respect of that as soon as we have it there. And then a lot of the times, when you have multiple offenses, Roland, there's always the question of whether it should run concurrently or consecutively. If you are not lucky and the judge takes the view that one is 15 and counts, 3 is also 15, it will mean that you are going to do 30. On the other hand, if the judge opts for concurrently, what normally happens, and a very simple way of understanding it, is that you pick the highest figure. And so they can be without authority as well. Then count 6, erecting buildings in a forest reserve without authorization. And as we are well aware, he pleaded not guilty to all the counts. Then the bit about the undertaking a minor operation without a license, abetting the unauthorized felling of trees as well is also another offense that came up quite strongly there. Also pleaded not guilty in respect of all of that. And so that is how far we have come in respect of this particular matter as well. And the plea of mitigation is still ongoing as we speak now. At 11:35, other lawyers are still addressing the court. They've taken an interest in this matter and urging the court to be lenient. And like we said, the range that the court is working within is 15 to 25 years. And so the judge would have to do the analysis to decide. And she would also have to answer the question whether she thinks it should be consecutively or concurrently. That's another question that the court would also have to answer as well. Then there's the fining bit that accompanies it. With that one also, we are also saying that the range is the 120,000 and the 180,000 as well. And so that is the range that the judge is operating within. And all these questions about he being a breadwinner and the impact it will have on a family, a first-time offender, all of this will be playing out on the court's mind. But this brings an end to a very significant, high-profile public interest prosecution that has been taking place. And in terms of the prosecution so far by the state, this will be the very first one that they followed through under this administration from start to end and secured request a notice of appeal. Everything is done, signed.
Yeah.
It just left to be filed. And once he sees that the judgment is not going in his favor, he can quickly just proceed and have the
Well,
clerk go and file it.
we'll go through what right as an accused person, subsequently now convicted, and then also what steps his legal team could take in law to be able to perhaps seek a further prey to the courts, and then perhaps ask for some mitigation when it comes to the sentence or the outcome as it is. Again, we told you that high profile, a lot of interested individuals and parties to this very case, already over 1,700 of you on Facebook and watching us currently. A number of comments also coming through with a number of individuals. Prince Nyania York is a regular watcher from the UK. He's working, he's watching on his device as well. I see.
So abusunya chairman Wontumi and I just say yeah the whole latest update at Mahama. Right now they are convicted chairman Wontumi emu ayedin e dia mane. But I want say some of the penny kokotisa and some way at my gossip politics TV so.